song, you got to do that little trick. It's the first sound anyone ever heard from Eddie Van Halen on the very first album, first side, first song. You just rake the pick across these strings up here. I know he did it back here. He had a guitar without a tremolo for that song, and he raked across between the bridge and the saddle. But I have to do it up here. It sounds close enough. But of course, the most important thing of that is to have a lit cigarette right there when you do it. And I believe it was a menthol. It has kind of a clean, refreshing sound to it. Then right after this, slide from the 17th fret E to begin the song. Okay, the main rhythm for the song and how it starts out and everything, it's played on the D, G, and B strings. The whole thing is all on those same three strings, and the first two chords are 5, 7, D, G, B. Then you go, so we got, then after, back to 7. So, then you keep this planted here and hammer on to the 8th fret B and 9th fret D. Hammer this next chord on to this. Then just move that whole chord up the same shape, 2 frets for this chord. Okay, then after this chord, then just let off those 2 fingers that you hammered on and back to just 9th fret D, G, and B for the last chord. So the whole thing's slow. Then the rhythm starts over again, but between each time there's that big, humongous pick slide, from about the 17th E down to somewhere around there. And of course you add the wow! I like to carry that as far as I can so that it's right about here. So this finger's ready to slam this again to start over. So there's no gap. Crank the volume knob down for the verses a little bit. Get about that tone. Are all the same chords, there's just different fills in each one of them. There's 3 verses and there's 3 different fills, but every verse is pretty much the same, and it's this the A chord down here, 3rd fret E, so, and then bump the A again. Don't go, a little bit of a boom on the A, so it's not bow, it's bow, boom. And then it's got those little chords. The chords are all on the 2 middle strings. The first one's 4th fret G, 5th fret D. Second chord, 2nd fret G, 4th fret D. And the last chord, open G, 2nd fret D. 3 little chords in all the verses. And bump the A in between each one of those again. Chord of each verse is, I think it's E minor, open, second, second, open, open, open for the strings. The only thing is you pluck that one backwards, upside down, like that. Then crank the volume back up, slide from about the 3rd fret A up to the point where you can hit that first chord again to start the rhythm over. So we got. Okay, the fill for the first verse, all harmonics, 12th fret B and E, 7th fret B and E, and then 5th fret G. tricky part is to get the volume cranked back up before you do the fill, so the harmonics are nice and chiming and everything, because you're half down here for these chords, you know. Got to get it cranked up real quick before you do the fills. Slowly, I like to try to do it. I'll just and then back down again to continue. Okay, the fill for the second verse, it happens in the same spot as the fill for the first one, and it's a trill between the 7th and 9th fret on G and B strings. About that fast. Don't want to do it too fast because it kind of fits the flow of the song slower like that. And again, the tricky part is to get the volume cranked up for it and get it cranked back down to continue the chords. I'll do it slow. That's what happens to me all the time. You go too low. Starts out 9th fret D string, slide to the 14th fret D string. Then just roll your finger up onto the 14th fret G and B. And I kind of like to roll it so that you're off the D string by the time you hit the B, otherwise you don't want the whole thing together. It starts to sound too much like a chord. It's more picked, you know. And I actually do that with downstrokes. I don't know why. Then after that, then go 15, 17, 15, 15, 14 on B. So we got, and just go 14 G and D. So again, roll the finger so that you're not holding all three at once. Then again, same thing. Second thing is exactly the same as the first, just 2 frets lower. Okay, then the ending for the first solo, which is the only different part than there is in the second solo. On the ending part, it's a 17th fret full step bend on the E, and you go. Then let back off to 17 and vibrato a little bit. So then you go 16, 17, slide on the G, then 19, 17 on the G. So then 19 G and B, then 20 G and B. And the last chord is 20 B, 19 G, and the G is bent up a full step. So you got that little double stop chord to end the solo. Whole solo slow. fill for the third verse is all harmonics like the first fill was. It's just there's a lot more of them, they're cooler. It's 12th fret harmonics G and E first. Then open G string. So that open string kind of gives you time to get your paw down here for the 7th fret harmonics G and B. So we got then just 5th fret harmonics G, B, and E. Slowly the whole thing. I forgot there's one thing different about the third verse before the fill than the first and second, and it's just that he goes right to the last little chord on the 2 middle strings before the fill instead of going to the second chord first. So normally the verses are and then it's a fill, but the last verse before the fill he goes right to that last chord instead of here. Okay, the one difference between the first and second solo, they're identical except for that part towards the end. First one you went, second one you go. It's a 17th fret 2.5 step bend, and you go wow, 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 wow. So in context, and the other one.